The Squirrel Deal by Marcus Ford. Let us begin. How it all began with one man, Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt, also known as Teddy the Trustbuster, was first appointed as vice president by the Republican Party and assumed the position of presidency after the death of William McKinley. Roosevelt, with his new family opponent position, vowed to take on big business by denouncing laissez-faire practices of the government that gave businesses free rein over the country. One of his most notable moves against the big business was the handling of the anthro- anthracite coal strike of 1902. What was the anthracite coal strike of 1902? To put it simply, the anthracite coal strike of 1902 was a disagreement caused by the working conditions put on miners who worked at the Reading Railroad Company. The upcoming winter and supply of coal is what invoked a swift decision by Theodore Roosevelt. Some of the testimonies that came from the mines, and from one Pacific writer named Stephen Crane, who gone in depth in a book called The In-Depths of a Coal Mine, about the mine, had this to say about the miners who work there. Having survived the floods, the squeezes of falling rocks, the cars shooting through the little tunnels, the precarious elevators, old and decrepit, he finally returns to the breaker where he started as a child. The breaker being where new young children workers would even work at the very bottom where they would break the rock to get to the goal. And this fellow to the left, George Frederick Bear, he was the president of the railroad company, Reading Railroad Company, and he was also a lawyer. And he didn't take too kindly to the workers' complaints by saying the workers didn't suffer while they couldn't even speak English. Yeah, like this kind of shows you the type of man he was. Moving on. What did Theodore Roosevelt do? He helped mediate between the striking miners and the Reading Railroad Company. What did the Pennsylvania miners who was on strike want? A reduction in hours from 12 to 10 hours, a wage increase of 10%, recognition of the union, equitable pay for workers' output in its form of a system so wherever they produce, they get a fair share of it. But what did they get with the intervention of Roosevelt? They got a reduction of hours from 10 to 9 hours, along with their raise increase, missing that equitable pay in the recognition of the union. What do the Reading Railroad Company owners want? They want the workers back to work, of course. They not making as much money as they would if the workers are at work, and they wanted to prevent the formal recognition of the UMW, the union formed by the striking railroad workers. And what they got was the prevention of the union. So pretty much they were happy in the end, or they would say the truth due to Roosevelt. And this mediation between corporate or the as Roosevelt would say, the labor and capital gave him the title of Squirrel Deal after he said that's what he wanted to provide for labor and capital. Between the Antarctic coal strike of 1902 and the Northern Securities case, where Roosevelt helped Congress dissolve Northern Securities in 1904 using the Sherman Act, Theodore Roosevelt wholeheartedly earned the title of a cowboy. He fought for a square deal. A question for y'all though. Why do you think Theodore Roosevelt settled for some of the concessions that Pennsylvania miners were asking for, except for the formal recognition of the UMW, when he had the option to federalize the mines if the Reading Railroad owners did not agree to all the miners' terms? And this is one of the things that Roosevelt threatened to do when the owners didn't come to the table at first, at all because they didn't want to listen to the workers' demands. Well, thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and I hope y'all have a good day. Bye.